You are listening to a special edition of the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe, Elijah's, Dave Chanley's, Michelle Garmon's, and my reaction to the 2026 Indianapolis 500.
Welcome to the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe. I'm Elijah Poe here with Michelle Garmon, Greg Mengelt, and Dave Chanley here. And we just witnessed one of the best ever runnings of the Indianapolis 500. I gotta say, that last lap pass happened right in front of me. I've never gone crazier at an IndyCar race, that's for sure. What do you guys think about the outcome today with Felix Rosenqvist taking his first win with Meyer Racing and that coming at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
It was a heck of a finish. It was a heck of a race. Immediately as I saw that and the way it went, my mind went back to the Al Unser Jr. and Scott Goodyear finish, because that was the closest finish I believe that I had ever seen until this one.
I would have to say, in my part, it was probably the best race I've ever seen at Indy. It had to be, with all that was going on with the strategy. There were with 20 laps, with 30, 40 laps to go. It became two races and two distinct strategies.
Probably.
What's that?
Yeah.
It
three
was two
probably.
distinct strategies. Yeah. And phenomenal. And I can't wait to watch the replay, because that last lap, well, the last three laps, you had McLaughlin go from 10th to 3rd. You had Armstrong on the last lap go from 1 to 5. You had Rosenqvist too wide the entire lap and kept it on the outside and kept it out of trouble, and then won the race by probably 3 feet or 2 feet. And it doesn't get any better than that.
Now, only way it would have been better is actually they should have had 2 laps there at the end of green flag racing. I don't know why they had that extra caution, or one more caution lap to go green, or to go, green, white flag at the same time, because there was no damage to Schumacher's car. There was no debris on the racetrack. Everything was fine. They could have gone green for the final 2 laps, and that would have been fun.
Well, that would have been the best way for that to finish, and I'm really disappointed they didn't do that. Then I think we would have gotten the right finish. Not that it wasn't right in the end, but it just felt with one lap just too. I didn't like it. Let's just say that. But let's stay here on the finish of the race, because I thought Rosenqvist and Armstrong were taking each other out by going side by side. And if they had lined up nose to tail, they definitely would have caught Malukas earlier. But they just both were saying, I'm winning this race. We're not cooperating with each other because we're teammates. I'm going to be the one who won the race. And Rosenqvist having that outside line ended up being the difference. And man, what a perfect lap he ran. I thought Malukas blew it at the end. He moved over to try to block Rosenqvist and gave him the path to get back past him.
It was brutal. I think.
And by block, by the way, I don't want to say he was cheating blocking. I'm saying that block that they do.
Oh, no, he was going for the win. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't blame him for moving in front of him. But when he did that, what it did was allow Rosenqvist a door to sneak in there and win that I don't think he would have had he not tried to move over.
You know, I've seen the interview with Armstrong, who said after the race he felt like he had to kind of lift off or they were going to collide. You know, I would kind of argue that this is the last lap. This is lap 200 of 200 of the Indianapolis 500. You have the inside line on turn 4. If you hit your teammate or not, you should be flat.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I thought
I did see a clip
3 or 4 times.
Well, Elijah, I did see a clip where he said he doesn't think. He said if he had it to do over again, he's not sure he would make the same decision that he made today.
I think they could have probably made it as it is, but I mean, how about Felix outside on 1 and 2 and 3, got around on 4. I don't think I've ever seen somebody on lap 200, other than maybe Newgarden a couple years ago, take it on the outside of 1, 2, and 3. It was absolutely insane. And just the absolute risk he took there. Like, sure, they've swept up some of the marbles and stuff, but, this is lap 200 of 200. These cars are beaten down to a pulp. The fact he was able to pull that off and catch a Penske that honestly looked really good all day, and David Malukas, is just incredible.
Yeah,
I
well,
thought
I don't.
Malukas and Pillow had the best two cars all day, and I really thought at the end they were going to be the two. And but Malukas was just so good, and I understand why he was crying at the end of the race, because that's going to be a nightmare for him the rest of his life.
I'm glad they have to go racing next week. That's the best thing for him. So he can't spend a couple weeks replaying that last lap over and over in his mind. He'll have to turn around and get ready for Detroit next weekend.
Well, I think the Schumacher incident was a reaction. They anytime somebody hits a wall, they they just throw the yellow. So it was thrown.
Oh, sure.
Right,
No
Uh,
problem
but they
throwing the
didn't need
yellow.
3 laps of yellow. They
That's
could
right.
tell right away his car was still working fine. There was no debris.
Yeah.
They
When they
did,
didn't
and
go
in
green,
fact,
I
the
thought,
announcers were even surprised they did an extra lap of caution.
when they didn't go green, I thought, what are they doing? There's no reason they're not going green right now. Zero reason.
well, I liked it. I liked the way it
Yeah.
ended. I liked the whole thing. I liked the racing. I liked the way they were side by side.
Oh, but
So
think about 2 laps of green. They would have
Yeah,
been
would have been so
slingshotting. That would
good.
have
okay,
Yeah,
been
but
even. It would
who
have
would
been
have
as
won?
exciting and maybe more so.
Would
Who knows?
Armstrong have held on because he went from 1 to
No,
5? He
I
was in
think
the lead.
it's Malukas or McLaughlin if it goes another lap.
yeah, Scotty Mack was flying. But
Yeah,
then
well,
again,
I
I
I
don't.
still want to see how he got from 10 to 3. Now I also want to see with 1 lap to go, and you are coming down for a restart. How many people jumped the restart?
I know Renus VK did for sure. I mean, he got a great launch, don't get me wrong. But then again, I think it has to be said, Renus VK, what a performance. But I
Otherwise,
think,
Pillow wins, by the way.
yeah. Well, I think
VK,
IndyCar.
sorry, let me just say this real fast.
Go
I
ahead.
thought Pillow on that last restop was heading right to the front, and VK jumped out in front of him. Nothing wrong with anything that VK did, but it cut off Pillow, who had a line straight to the front. And that was what allowed Rosenqvist, Armstrong, and Malukas to get out in front. And great performance again, Elijah, by VK to be up there, just suddenly up there at the end.
That's
Yeah.
racing. And what you say there might be correct, Greg, but that's racing.
Yes, it
Part
is.
of that,
Absolutely, it is.
all of that is part of racing. It is just, hey,
Absolutely.
especially with a lap to go, it's every man for himself. And they
Yeah, but
all were. They were
I
all,
wasn't saying it was wrong, Dave. I'm just saying that it happened.
yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
okay.
did you guys see Connor Daly's tweet after the
No,
Yeah.
race?
I did not.
Connor Daly, he was up. He said it was a tough day, best car he's ever had. He was upset. He got passed under yellow, and on that last yellow, he said when it came out, he got passed, and he said they never. He said they never did a reorder, and that's why he thought they were going an extra lap of caution. But he said he was actually passed under yellow on that last yellow.
I felt like a couple of the decisions they made took a little bit of the shine off of what was an incredible Indianapolis 500.
I think IndyCar is, especially the last lap, couple laps ago stuff. I think if you look back in the 5 years, IndyCar has set this precedent. So I don't think
So
it's out of
good.
the norm.
Yeah.
I
So
think at the
good.
500 especially, they've kind of made up their mind, and agree with them or don't. But yeah, I'm especially as a fan that's there. There's nothing that I don't want more than to see a pace car lead a field across the checkered finish line. That'd just be
Absolutely.
brutal.
Absolutely.
And
That's exactly why I thought the red flag was a great decision.
yeah,
Yes, it was.
but I
Yeah, I
think
thought it was.
well,
I thought that at that point, it was going to take the race away from on the strategy. I really believe Rosenqvist, Armstrong, and Pato had enough distance. They weren't going to be caught.
Dave, your Pato's crew, according to what if you listen to it on TV, they were sweating it. They really didn't think he had enough. Now Rosenquist and had come in. He and Armstrong had come in after Pato. Even like Hinchcliffe and Townsend, they were talking about that if with no caution laps, they didn't think that Pato could make it because he was going to have to save too much fuel. Or if he went all out, he would he wouldn't be able to make fuel. He was either going
It
to
was
have
going
to.
to be very interesting, that's for sure. If there was
It
no
was going to be
yellow,
interesting.
it was going to be really interesting because Malukas was coming fast, and those guys were definitely going to have to slow down, if nothing else. They might have been able to make it to the end, but they were going to have to slow down if they did. I don't know if you guys remember the Indy 500 that Dan Weldon won, and I thought that was going to happen with Malukas. I thought that was a possibility of something that might happen. Because Malukas was that much better than the rest of the field, it felt like, until he got to the front like everybody else. Once the car's in the front, they're as vulnerable no matter what the situation is, right?
Yeah.
Especially on a restart, the one place you didn't want to be was in the front. You were going to get overtaken. But I might roll it back, and my hat's off to Rosenquist. The whole group of about 6 or 7 cars that went into the pits, topped off,
Yep.
and came out, and we're going to have to make about 34 laps, and then they were going to have to make about 34 more laps and roll the dice with it. I thought that was the winning move, the winning strategy.
Yeah.
I was watching that, and I said, they have just stolen this race
That's right.
from Malukas and Pillow.
Yeah,
Because
Malukas, McLaughlin, and Daly. Those 4 guys were going to run away with it if those guys hadn't done it.
Absolutely. And my hat's off to them. They strategized, and it worked out perfect for them. It won them the race. I mean, when you look, and you could go down through all 1 through 8. There's a story there in the last 15, 10, 5 laps for 1 through 8, all of them. And it's just that's what made it great. That's what I think made it a tremendous race. Was those two you had 2 races going on, and you're watching. I mean, they were just combobulated. Everybody was watching and thinking. A lot of people were thinking that, well, Malukas is in the lead. No, he's not in the lead. He's about 20 seconds back, and that's a lot of ground to make up at 210 miles per hour compared to 222 miles per hour. That's a lot of ground to make up. And I did not think, I was thinking, I don't think they can do it. Getting there is one thing, passing them is another. But there was 9 laps, I think, when the caution came out. And that means if they go 7 more laps in fuel saver mode, they're down to 2 laps, and they're still in the lead because you're not going to make up that much ground. And then you're going to be hard to pass because by that time, the fuel saver mode is over, and they're going to go full out. And Rosenquist had a fast car.
David, Greg and I had the benefit of watching on TV. Malukas was coming. I mean, he shaved in like 2 laps. He shaved off like 7 seconds off that lead. He was flat out flying. He was doing laps at way over 2. He was doing laps 10 miles an hour faster than Rosenquist and Pato and Armstrong. I mean, he was flying.
I think on TV it probably looked like that, but being at the track, it was a huge gap in person.
It was.
It was a big gap. It's kind of in talking about Dave. You talked about how there's 2 strategies. There was also a third element where it could just start raining at any second.
Yes.
Any second, it could have stopped raining. It
And
could have started to rain.
And it started raining 10 minutes after the race.
Unbelievable. I honestly, I cannot believe they got this full race in.
I know.
Yes, I know. It
Poor
was
Scott
great.
Dixon, man.
It
Oh.
was great.
No one wanted to see it end there at 102 laps, but Scott Dixon has been. He could have had 7 Indy 500 wins, and he has 1.
It's a true shame. It really is.
Well,
Finishing.
and where they finished, my first at the end, my question was, what happened to Dixon? Where did he go? And what happened also to Connor Daly? Because he was running with the 4 lead, the 4 in the pack, but at the finish, where was he?
Some
I
people on
mean,
different strategies got between them and the leaders, and it just took them completely away from the lead group of Malukas.
yeah,
McLaughlin.
one of those was Renus VK was on that strategy. The top off strategy, and it was good for him. Great for him. I mean, I just, my hat's off. I love strategy, and those guys pulled a rabbit out of the hat with that strategy.
And the other
Yeah, but
thing is they had a great car all month too.
They
They
did.
did. They did.
Meyer Shank
the
and Duke Indy.
yeah. Well, with Connor Daly though, it wasn't just the last restart. It was the second to the last restart before Schumacher hit the wall. He and Pelot, they were coming, and I don't know if it was VK or somebody. They went to go different way, and it was like all of a sudden they just like let off, and it created a jam, and that is racing. There's nothing wrong with that, but their momentum on the restart got halted, and
That's big.
yeah.
Yeah, momentum's everything at that point.
I was
And I think
thinking those two, McLaughlin and Daly, be charging from the back, and I was right. They were. Just one of them was able to get through, and the other wasn't. That was the difference.
Yeah,
somebody who I think we all thought was going to charge from the back, and I think one of the most shocking moments of the race, took himself out of the race, was Joseph Newgarden's restart incident. Just getting down on that concrete and spinning. I think he had one of the best looking cars of the day, but
he
what
had
a
a fast car.
huge mistake from Newgarden that we often don't see.
It was, and he was right in the thick of it. He had gotten himself from all the way to the back,
No doubt.
kept just patiently moving up, and there he was all of a sudden in 4th place, and he took himself out. Okay,
The best cars today were, without doubt, Pelot and the Penske. So he definitely was going to have a shot if he stayed in.
and I'll throw Rosenqvist had a fast car too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no question. He would have been right in the thick of it. He had a shot at it. But that's racing again. That's wow. That he took himself out is just a head scratcher because you're right. Newgarden's better than that.
Yeah.
And another one, Ed Carpenter, very upset with Takuma Sato. Some words after the race for Sato saying, I don't understand why we're going 3 wide 20 laps into the race.
It's a bad move by Sato.
It was a bad move by Sato.
And you
Did
got
you?
to feel bad for Ed.
Yes. Did you think of this? This we may have witnessed the last race Indy 500 in a career for Ryan Hunter-Reay, Ed Carpenter, Takuma Sato, and Elio Castroneves. Those 4 are great drivers, and all 4 may have just raced their last Indy 500.
Yeah, they may have of those 4. I see Elio coming back.
He says he
And
wants to.
trying for one more. He loves it so much, and he keeps himself so fit and and sharp.
Yeah, but today, really, he was never a factor.
No.
Yeah, but he got up there. He got up into
did.
9th. I mean, it was a sneaky. All of a sudden, you look in up there, and he was in 9th, and
Right.
it was kind of sneaky. I mean,
He and Sato both
again,
did
it was
that.
part of that strategy. He was just, but that's what makes. That's why he's so good and has won 4 Indy 500s because he knows that track. He knows the strategies to use.
But hats off to Takuma for finishing in 10th. I still think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
an impressive result for him. And
Well,
honestly,
he was on the same strategy as Rosenqvist and those
yeah,
guys, and he actually went a lap further than the other two, Rosenqvist and Armstrong. Not enough pace for the Ray Hall team. As
this
good as
is
Sato is, not enough pace for that team.
Not
this
enough
is
pace.
breaking news right now. IndyCar officiating has issued a post-race technical inspection penalty for the number 10 Chip Ganassi Racing entry following the Indianapolis 500 for violating
Whoa,
speedway front wing and end plate height requirements. The
whoa!
entry has been penalized 5 championship points and $10,000.
Oh, they
Oh,
Oh,
don't make mistakes
that's
like that very often.
they
That's
don't, but
generous.
that's yeah. I was going to
That's
small
say
penalty.
generous.
that's nothing. That's nothing to those guys. 5 points. That's
I thought you were going
nothing.
to say they were going to
Last
move
year,
people back.
yeah, last year
Less than-
Erickson got moved from second to the back of the pack.
Well, I
Yeah,
think that should be a talking point. I mean,
That's
yeah.
you have somebody
precedent.
who doesn't have the correct measurements for the wings and the, I mean
Yeah, it's
this
big.
is for somebody to get docked 5 championship points. I mean, we're talking about Alex Blow. He's got a billion championship points at any race he can show up
That's
at.
right.
Right.
Um,
And $10,000. That's like me throwing a quarter into the pot in a poker game.
yeah,
It will be interesting to see the complete report after when they come out, and
It could be something so minor. They're just, hey,
that's why it's 5 points.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I
But
mean,
it,
I want
it,
to
I
I
thought
want
we
to
were
point out
picking
two more.
here.
I want to point out two more guys. Pato Award finished fourth in a car that probably should have finished 12th or 15th.
yeah.
Correct.
He somehow got that car to fourth place, and he did. I doubt seriously if he passed a car on the track at any time during the race because he had a sick car, and
Not
he got fourth place. And I'm like, that's strategy and driving.
Dave. His car was so bad. He said after the race he was glad it was over.
Yeah, I mean, my hat's off to him. That's fantastic. And the other guy we haven't mentioned. Where in the world did Marcus Armstrong come from?
Yeah, just
It's
I
an
got it
mean,
on
incredible
strategy.
strategy move, man.
He
we
Myers
was
hadn't
Shank.
talked
making
about
nice,
him.
but he was making nice. He was making nice strides even until that last strategy. I mean, he was another one that was kind of sneaky. All of a sudden, he's up there, but he didn't. He didn't start super far back. What, he was ninth,
He was
16th.
10th?
around the top 10 all day, right around
Yeah,
the
he
top
was.
10, and then
Yeah,
they
I
made the
mean,
strategy move.
yeah.
I think it's impressive. Meyer Shank Racing has 2 IndyCar wins, and both of them are at the Indianapolis 500 and finishing fourth and fifth today. Incredible result for that team, and I think I think Pato could be in a Meyer Shank car and would get this race done. And I can't remember if somebody said it yesterday or a couple days ago, but man, it's starting to feel like Pato Award is this generation's Tony Kanaan. Just there every time, but just can't get it done quite yet.
Let's hope he's Tony Kanaan and not Michael Andretti.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Because
uh,
that was Michael Andretti. Oh, he'd come so close and couldn't get it done.
Dominated like 5 races and didn't win any of them.
Yes.
Just
yeah.
brutal.
And we found out David Malukas is a super race driver today.
Yeah.
I remember Dave texting me, this is probably 5-6 years ago. I believe Malukas was a rookie. You were at the track and you texted me, man, this Malukas is a talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
You saw it right away.
Yes.
I also want to give a little shout out to the rookies today. And I thought Collette did a wonderful job. I hated that he had that accident at the end, his car caught on fire because he was forced having to start last because of the penalty after qualifications. I thought he also did a nice job out there. I thought Dennis Hogger did. And then, Schumacher got back up on strategy. He didn't have a great car. It was just the strategy that got him in there. But I really thought the 3 rookies weren't too bad today.
Well, there's four. Abel, but he was at the back of the pack all day. But the other three, I agree. Hogger will probably get the rookie of the year, but I was very impressed with Kai Collette. He got to the front
Yes, he
at
did,
one
and he
point.
looked good up there. I
He
mean,
looked good in front. They weren't going to pass him when he got to the front. He was good, and that's hats off to Foyt Racing.
yes.
I think disappointment for Ray was the guy I picked, Ferrucci, but he finished eighth. He still, he still does whatever he does at that track. He's a top 10 every time.
Mm-hmm.
He's never missed a lap. He was never really a factor as far as going to win today, but he was still there. And he's one that definitely complained. He said, I got blown by on the restart, and they jumped the restart on me.
Yeah, but Dave, they were saying on TV that you don't have to get to the start finish line. As soon as you're told and they say green, 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 you're going. You do
Yeah.
not.
Right.
You don't have to. You don't have to wait till you're on that front straightaway. If you're coming out of turn 3 into turn 4 and they go green, you go.
But
Yeah, but
there were definitely some guys who jumped that. There were no
yes, I
question
think
guys
there
that
were.
got out of sequence before the green flew.
Yeah, and you know this. You know this if you're a racer. You got nothing to lose. What are they going to do? Set you back? They're not going to do that. It's the last lap of the Indy 500.
Right.
That's right.
I would have started passing the third turn before it went. I said, "Come get me. I'm just going to go."
Good to yourself.
And
Come get me, Dave.
I think
yeah, I'm still mad about that one. I'm still upset about that one because he was in the lead. He was going to win the thing, but all in all, it was ECR had a bad day. Penske had a good day.
Yeah, they're back at Indy. They were the best cars all day. I don't think they're back on street and road courses, but on ovals, Penske's back.
you want to know
Yeah,
who's had such a bad day we haven't talked about them once? Andretti. My
Ooh,
goodness.
yeah,
man.
yeah.
My
Brooklyn
goodness. And Marcus
Erickson did a really
Ericsson.
good job. They
Yeah,
did a
Marcus
really good job
Ericsson.
getting up there, but ooh.
Marcus Ericsson always. I thought he maybe would have squeaked out a top 10, finishing in 13th. I still think that's an overperformance for how
Yes.
horrible that car is. But, we're seeing real championship contenders, like Kyle Kirkwood finished 16th.
Ugh.
Uh, I'm not sure what exactly happened with Will Power's car, but I know that was just a mechanical issue. I think the second or third year in a row. I don't think
Never a
he's even
factor.
finished. It's just, I mean, they
Almost.
Yeah.
haven't won the 500 since 2017, and it's not looking any brighter for them anytime soon.
Kirkwood had gotten up to ninth before the split in the strategy. It was basically, in fact, it was almost right after him is where the strategy came into play.
Yeah,
And he had
that's true.
gotten into ninth.
Well,
And
Erickson
if
has
I
gotten to
look,
six.
Erickson had gotten all the way up to sixth. And I'm wondering, those guys are probably hitting themselves on the head and said, dang, why didn't we try that?
Well, you know
Why?
what? And you're right. And they were on a plan in Kirkwood because they did the driver interview thing with him, and he said they had a strategy of what place they wanted to be at each segment of the race. They
Right.
weren't trying to make up ground too fast. They just wanted to be kind of methodical about it. And I think part of that alternate strategy was because I think different people were getting different information about rain and when it was coming, and they wanted to make
There's
sure
no
they had
factor.
the fuel and they could do it. And because you could hear some chiefs on the radio who say, "Oh, rain's like 45, minutes away," and it was longer than that. But so I think that's what some of that was the conflicting information they were getting from whoever it is watching the radar.
Dave earlier mentioned four guys who could be retiring. Can I throw in a fifth and Will Power? He's just no longer a factor in the series. He just hasn't been really a championship contender for 5 years now. I don't think we've mentioned his name at Indy since he won the 500.
I mean, we still
Okay.
have a lot of races left on this calendar. I'm going to give him a little bit of credit.
I think he's done.
Wow. That one, I hadn't thought of that one, but I think he'll be back because he just loves it too much.
I think the
I
day
don't know.
he won the Indy 500, he has not been very good since.
You know, the one good thing though, the one thing that most of those guys can say, except Ed Carpenter, is I've won an Indy 500.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Will Power's an all-time great. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
the last 5
absolutely.
years he has not been.
Yeah,
I don't see Will retiring, no, Greg. I just don't.
that's a good one to throw out. That's a good one to throw out there. I think, Greg, I do, but I really think the other four, I think we have seen. Pardon my grammar. We have seen their last Indy 500. I really believe that.
By the way, there were 2 guys I thought this would be their last Indy 500, but they were so good today, maybe not. Kiffin Simpson and Nolan Siegel were both really racy and came up through the field.
Were.
Kiffin Simpson was good, and I think he got. He was in the top 10. He was doing well, and all of a sudden, where'd he go? And I think that might have been a mistaken strategy. Simpson was good today. That was a lot. There was a lot of good racing back in the pack.
I hope they never change these chassis, guys. I hope they never change these chassis.
The 28.
I know
it is.
These races are so perfect on ovals. They're so perfect. I don't want to mess with this formula.
I know, but it's coming. It will be coming.
I
wonder if Toyota will ever get back in and be a third engine company.
We need a Ford.
I think it's already confirmed they're not.
Okay.
I think since the charters have already been signed up for 2028, and we know Meyershank is getting an extra Honda charter, I think it all but seals it for any other brands that come in. But I honestly, you look at the top 5 is Honda, Chevy, Honda, and Honda's won it for the second year in a row now. It used to be, I remember a couple years ago when the Hondas in 2024 were, I think 3 or 4 of them just blew an engine. Honda has looked really strong, and Rosenqvist arguably should have put it on the pole and then won the race today. He could have had a clean month sweep, and I think the constructor wars right now are pretty evenly matched.
I do too. Honda and Chevy, that's a great battle. That's going to go all year. They're both pretty good, solid.
I wonder if Colette will be available on Sunday in Detroit.
Or Rossi.
Oh, or
Rossi will probably not race. Did Colette get hurt? Did Colette come out of that bad?
Limping badly coming out. I mean, nothing major, limping badly coming out of the car.
That was a really hard hit. He was flying into that wall.
And with that fire, I was a little worried about him.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, I think it goes to the safety of these Indy cars. We've had some really nasty crashes in the last 3 years, and luckily, I think the worst injury is probably Rossi here.
You're right. These cars, I mean, they're unbelievably safe for hitting a wall at 220 miles per hour.
Everybody knock on wood.
I know. I don't want to put the kiss of death on somebody. That's really a bad choice of words right there. but they're safe. They're phenomenal, and
they are.
That's great. That's great.
We know when I did my interview with Tony Kanaan, he talked about safety and how much it has improved through the years, and the cars, what they do in the cars, and then just the safer barriers, the things that they've done at the track to absorb the impact and not to create as between the cars and all that, to create as much flip. You don't see them flipping over each other very often anymore, and so kudos to IndyCar for the advancements they've made in safety.
Yeah. And I'm going to go. I have not seen the replay, so you guys can tell me how good Fox is on this race. But I am going to say this. Fox has bought into this, and this has now become, if you did not watch today, and you did not if you watched today, and you did not become an IndyCar fan, there's something wrong with you. Yeah. It was that good. And to my friends who didn't go and watched it on TV, which are 2 of you there, it pales in comparison to being there.
Mm.
Being
Yeah,
there is just it's incredible. It's
Mind
incredible.
blowing.
I was listening to it on the way home from a wedding. Listen to the beginning, watch the end, and I made the decision I'm not missing again next year. I had goosebumps in the car listening to what was going on, and I was like, I actually hit 80 miles an hour on the interstate accidentally
Yeah,
listening
yeah,
to
yeah.
the race.
You were pumped. You were
Yeah,
pumped.
and I just
I
decided
got in
I am
just
getting there
just
next
on
year.
and just on personal. I got in today quicker and out today quicker than I have in years. Uh, so hats off to myself on this my strategy there.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, it was just a great day.
And how many races
And
did you, Dave?
42 straight, more than almost 50 actual, but 42 straight. And like I said, I every time I like my seat, and I still like my seat. It's the next to the top row in the South Vista, halfway between 1 and 2. I can see them start down 2. It is just every time I think, I wonder if I want to switch seats. No, I don't want to switch seats. Also, I park about a half mile away. I've got a friend that lets me park there for free, lives in Speedway, and I drive in and I drive out and I walk a half mile. It's phenomenal. I've got this thing figured
And
out.
Elijah, is that where you want to sit for the rest of your life?
My God, I was absolutely spoiled today with that pass coming right in front of my eyes. I would I would die to sit there. I told the person that brought us, "You let me know how much this ticket is next year, and I will have the money for it."
Yeah.
Because it was pretty incredible. I've sat in the front straight before, but never in the paddock penthouse, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
those are
better
going to
up
be
there.
hard to beat.
It's just better up there. It's a better world up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The higher the better.
although I missed the troughs. There's no troughs up there.
Oh,
I
we're
love
back
it.
for it. Dang it.
Yeah. That is great.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. You guys get the troughs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The winners get the
experience this.
long lines.
But it was really good. It was such a good race day, and I just cannot believe it didn't rain. I mean, it just
I
looked like
know.
it could pour at any second, which I think it made the race honestly go by quicker because people were just waiting. Oh, when's it gonna rain? When's it gonna rain? When's it gonna rain? And it never did. It was a thrilling 500, and I really hope the series keeps this momentum going up in Detroit, which he's usually provided some really good racing, and one we know Alex
Lately.
Palou and Kyle Kirkwood are going to be good at.
And the rest of the season can be talked about on another day. The Indy 500 is kind of its own season, a season all to itself. Now we move on, and Elijah and I will be back and often with Dave and Michelle for the IndyCar report every Thursday going forward with reactions to every race. Please join us. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.